Good afternoon. It's Tuesday the 1st of June and it is a bright warm day. I'm being told that it's 23 degrees here in Birmingham. Even so, I have a nice hot cup of tea. And of course, I have parcels to unbox, and we're going to start with this one. So, crack this one open, and this has been sent by print on demand, so that comes away with relatively little effort. And inside there are 1, 2 books, and here is just a little piece of paper off it. Okay, is Fantastic Voyages in a World of Science and Magic, Lore and Legacy from Empyreal Games. Lore and Legacy is a science fantasy role-playing game set on the fantastical world of Empyrea, a vast planet laying on in the shadows of a mostly forgotten past. On Empyrea, several distinct species, each hailing from different stars, now live together, picking through the ruins and technologies of lost civilizations. The players are freelancers, intrepid adventurers, hunters, slayers and explorers determined to unravel the planet's many mysteries. It is up to them to protect the populations, lift the veil on ancient lore, and reclaim their lost legacies. All you need to play is a handful of D8s, D6s and D10s, and the contents of this book, namely the complete rules for the 3D engine system, descriptions of 6 playable peoples, dozens of abilities, spells and items, a bestiary of 80 creatures and adversaries, 3 ready-to-play adventures, 6 pre-generated characters, and much more. So, there's the front cover, and here's the back. Okay, it's quite a nice little hardback. Just open it up, and I believe it's originally French. Yes, yeah, Fédération Française de Jeux de Rôle is given special thanks. This is the English version, and it's always interesting to see a game from a foreign market, from basically when I say foreign market, from the non-English speaking side of the hobby, basically make its way across to the English speaking, basically just to see how a different culture and a different language approaches a role-playing game. And certainly there are always difference in tone and style and so on that you'll see from one game to the next. So that there's certainly a lot of the French designs are more adult in tone than those of the English-speaking market, and that often applies to the artwork. There we go. First piece of artwork inside, basically black. That's the black and white cover or grayscale version of the cover. There we go. More artwork there. Basically, that's quite nice and simple, nice and clear. So the layout is clean, as you can see. Lots of things to read. You know, basically quite a lot of text, but not too heavy. Interesting, and you basically got a map of the galaxy, and you are here. And here we've got a map of the continent of where this player character starts. To show you that there. It's got complete history, and it's clear. Obviously, there's a big science fiction element there. That's almost like a fantastic science fiction setting rather than a fantasy one. I go through, and I guess another shot of the type of characters you have on Empyrea. So, I mean, literally, this is literally me just, again, I don't know very much about the game or the setting, but it's a case of looking through and getting some idea of just browsing through the book. So, the Elfin, I mean, obviously, elf-like, just from their appearance. Gamids appear to be, well, 4-armed reptilian or Bactracian, something like that, or Piscian. Basically Dacty, like they're a little bit dwarf-like, I would say. We have the disincarnated, obviously cyborgs or robots. Again, it's me just glancing through the book and discussing what's in here, so it's all new to me. Obviously humans, and we have orcs as well. There we go, looking quite civilized there for your orcs. And I'm not saying orcs should be uncivilized, of course, or non-civilized. Explanation of the rules. Yeah. And then we go on to character creation, and basically get some idea of sort of fantastic nature of the world. Just as here's a typical character you can create. And here we go. This is what a character sheet looks like. So not really too complex, I would say. It's quite easy to read. Just get a bit closer so you can have a look. Essentially, you've got a mixture of traits there: athletic, friend of spirits, obsession, astrite ruins, cast contempt, guileless, and then you've got the stats: temper, acumen, mastery, presence, robustness, vigor, and fortune. Various abilities, and essentially abilities will pick what are skills. Again, more fantastic artwork, and then I do like the artwork in this. Some of it is reminiscent of I would say sort of like the early 80s artwork of Russ Nicholson, who you will recognise from Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay first edition illustrations, and then for Fighting Fantasy, that sort of thing, very early on. So the abilities appear to be tagged to the attributes, to the like temper, acumen, mastery, and so on. So we've got magic and explanation of how magic works. I'm sure this will look fantastic in colour, this artwork. And obviously, probably the PDF is in colour itself. And if you're wondering where you can pick this up, it's off Drive-Thru RPG. So different spells, ritual magic spells. Again, it's science fantasy, so you have a mixture of the two. Spiritism as well. Got to combat. I know there's an example of character creation in here. I did have a quick look, but combat. Let's have a look. So it's on page 127, 128, 129, 130, 131. That's it. Essentially, 4 pages on combat. I'm not saying, by which I mean is, wow, that's packing quite a lot into just 4 pages. I mean, combat appears to be succinct and short, and that's fine. You don't necessarily want combat to be too complex. There's no example in the combat which I would have liked that I saw. I mean, when we have artifacts as well, basically like the analytic reader, an apparatus that resembles a monocle and can scan, process, and format a large amount of data, allowing the wearer to quickly cut to the heart of the matter. The character adds a fortune die to the research rolls. Anti-grav boots, echo mapper, scanners, respirators, sonic shields, and so on. Weapons range from swords and crossbows up to pistol lasers with rail guns. So it runs sort of like the full gamut, and people expect to sort of like, you know, to have access to all of them. So you know, basically have like characters sort of equipped with both magic and artifacts as well. So let's flip on to, we even come on to basically, let's have a look. Carcans, we have essentially what appear to be frameworks or carapaces, and the dwarves basically they've got battle mechs. I mean, basically powered walking suits, whether for combat or doing work. Similarly, we have vehicles, so we have like a gunboat there, very science fiction, and we have like basically a harvester, basically a combat speeder of some kind. And even we have a classic walker in there. So you know, you can play this. The players can really mix and match. The genres. Just check who's down. Yeah, I mean the illustrations are really quite nice in here. And there's some recognisable names like El Gaia and Eric Lofgren. But that's really, I really like that. It really sent the sense of this really nice sort of busy piece of artwork. You know, lots of things going on, and it's very reminiscent of Russ Nicholson, I will say. And then we have a typical ruin, which obviously the players are expected to explore. And then we look at freelancers' life. There's a freelancers guild, so there's a sort of organisation for player characters to join and serve in exploring. We've got pages of sample mentors within the guild, obviously with their own motivations and so on. So you know, you're going to get I would presume you get involved in things like patron to patron rivalries and that sort of thing. Then we basically got Patera, the crater city is the location. Again, decent map there. You know, a sense of detail and space. And then over the page, you've actually got a really nice illustration of the city, the crater city. And you see the lakes there that were on the map. That's a nice touch, including both, so that essentially, you know, oh, you can see the map, but here's an image of the city. You can actually just get an idea what it's like. And it's obvious that sort of essentially the crater is where the characters begin and play. As you can see, you have a map of the area. That's Patera, that's where the crater city is, and then you've got the greater crater area. Basically a mixture of NPCs. Then we go on to adventures. We've got Murmurs in the Machine, an investigation adventure designed for beginners. We familiarise them with the streets of Patera and certain concepts connected to the magic of lore and legacy. Illumin sees the freelancers on the trail of a fallen aerolith on the fringes of the Broken Hills, a hostile territory inhabited by wild animals and raiders. And in the light at the end of the tunnel, the freelancers venture into the deeps of an ancient Astartite complex full of mysteries and danger. As well as the inherent difficulties of the expedition itself, the freelancers will have to confront mercenaries from Alanandra's barony. Okay. Essentially, these adventures are linked at the narrative level. It can be played in order, so the events of the light at the end of the tunnel follow directly on from those in Ilmen. And there's also a fourth adventure, Froglins in the Mist, is included in the quick start. That can act as a prologue to the scenarios in the book. So yeah, 3 adventures. Okay. That's a little plane that's not particularly interesting. That's a nice map. I like that one. That one is just not interesting, I will admit. Just me. And again, nice sort of complex there. Nice piece of artwork. It's really, I really do like the look of this book. So on, and then you've got a section of bestiary, okay, monsters, so like chiropractors and death warders. There we go. So that is lore and legacy. French role post-apocalyptic kind of science fantasy role-playing game. And lastly, you've got pre-generated characters. There's 6 of these. Again, nice thumbnail, quick, easy to lay out the character sheet, and a full biography as well. So really short of dice. You've got everything you need to start playing here, and there's a summary of the tables at the back as well. I think that's nicely complete. So that's Lore and Legacy. I will be getting to review that soon. That looks to be interesting. And anything with a floating city has always got to be interesting. You know, going right back to the floating islands and cities in Jiroon, of which I am a fan. So, Lore and Legacy, available on Drive-Thru RPG, and coming to a review on Reviews from Really Very Soon. Well, thank you for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, please do click the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, I do take the time to read those and respond as and when I can. And if you want to be alerted to more unboxings in the Nook, please do click the subscribe button, and you will get more notifications of another video of me sat here in the Nook with a hot cup of tea and a parcel to unbox. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.